Today's guest is Michael Fickinger, the Managing Director of TNG Technology Consulting for Australia and New Zealand. Michael leads TNG's growth in the ANZ region and plays a critical role in shaping how AI is applied in enterprise environments, which includes areas like industrial machine learning and cloud-based AI services. He's also known for leading discussions like the recent Melbourne Cyber Circle AI adoption. It was a session where he explored real-world uses and challenges of AI, including how AI can monitor ISO compliance. Let's pick his brain for some expertise. Michael, welcome to ROI from AI.
Thanks for having me, Brad.
My pleasure. Can you give us a quick little overview of TNG and the work that you do there?
Yeah. So at TNG, we develop custom software for clients. So we work directly with clients. What makes TNG special is our team and our science and engineering culture. So the team mainly consists of physicists, mathematicians, and computer scientists. And over 50% of us have a PhD. So we are basically generalists, bring problem-solving skills, and are quick learners, and obviously are tech enthusiasts. Then we support this team with continuous learning and growth. We have twice a month a tech day where everyone is off their projects and we experiment with technology, teach each other new things we learned, and so on. And we also create a very collaborative environment that means internally, so we can share knowledge between the over 900 experts who work at TNG, but also with the client, so we can bring this knowledge to the client.
Yeah, amazing. I'm wondering, with your background, because you worked in science and I believe in the physics sort of area, how did you go from science to technology?
Yeah, so I worked in nuclear and particle physics in the theory section, and I actually liked it. I liked the challenging problems. What I was missing was working more with people, and that was my reason to switch to IT of all fields. But actually, especially in the industry context, you actually do work more with people.
Oh, it's funny that AI is almost unhuman in the eyes of a lot of people, and that you wanted to work with more humans. And I've seen some of the services that you offer at TNG. You've got industrial machine learning, there's reinforcement learning. Which of these areas are you most excited about, and where are you seeing the biggest demand for clients in Australia?
I mean, right now, the large language models are very prominent. And so often there is forgotten that there are also more classical AI um, methodologies, which can also help. And so TNG, um, AI is one of TNG's main areas, and we already work with AI for years, even before the rise of the large language models. And yeah, so I think you really have to look into what's best fitting your problem set. And what I'm personally excited about is that the LLMs allow me to code again, because
Mm.
usually I only have half an hour spots of time, and that usually is not enough to code. But yeah, thanks to agentic coding tools, I can do that again. And yeah, the other thing I'm excited about is robotics, but maybe that's a different topic.
Well, there's definitely an intersection with AI and
Yeah.
so many different kinds of industries and so many different kinds of technologies. I do love that you're leading a lot of discussions in this space as well. As I said in the intro, the Melbourne Cyber Circle, and you spoke about ISO compliance and how AI intersects with that. Do you have any insights from that discussion that you can share now?
Um, so we didn't work specifically on ISO compliance. I think that's a more difficult topic. What we did is we worked in the legal space for a client, and developed an application which basically supports lawyers to check contracts to be compliant with a new regulation. And it was a very specific and niche situation where it's only for commercial contracts with suppliers, it's only for a very specific regulation. Um, but what was exciting about that is that we got to the point where basically the lawyers told us, you can fully automate that. We don't even have to check anymore. And I think that's one of the things which, and predicting the future in AI is very risky. So I might be wrong in in a few weeks or few days, but that's something which you're going to see more in the coming future.
So you're seeing a lot of benefit from lawyers in particular because they're saving time with having to go through contracts, and it's a productivity uh, implementation. Is that right?
Yeah, and in this case, it was also important because there were strict timelines to applying these checks. So a bigger company probably couldn't do that without tooling. Yeah.
Interesting. I do want to zoom out a little bit as well with some of the other clients that you might be working with. What are some of the struggles you're seeing with businesses wanting to integrate AI into their existing business framework?
Yeah. I mean, um, one of the first problems is that I think it's important that you look at it from a problem perspective. So don't start and say like I want to use AI and then you look for a problem which fits that, but look for problems which are real problems in your business and then look for solutions and be open if the solution is not AI, that often is even better because AI has downsides, especially the LLMs. It's non-deterministic, so you can control the control over it is much. You have much less control than in a normal coding situation. Um, and and then I also would recommend to see these projects are usually exploratory projects, and so to treat them like that. So start small, extend iteratively, and be prepared to pivot or stop the project if new information comes available, which yeah, shows you that maybe that's not the best way you're using it. And another thing is, especially if you use AI, the AI is public facing, then be very, very aware of security limitations. So think about what could go wrong. Um, Again, it's a non-deterministic technology, so it's much harder to control.
I do believe you've got some images to share or like a slideshow. I'd love to see what you'd like to present today if you want to share your screen.
Yeah. So basically, I want to talk a little bit about uh, using AI to develop code because that's what we do, right, at as TNG. And there is this also gives you an immediate advantage to the client to our clients. So if we can produce the same outcome in less time, that means less cost for the client. And often we also work integrated in the client's teams, which then allows us to use our knowledge and experience to uplift their teams. So that's basically an immediate advantage. And so these things often focus on productivity gains and cost savings, but there are also other examples. So this is one example where we work for client from the retail area, and so basically they have a web shop, and you where you can buy clothes, and often you have clothes in the first spots which don't fit, and they found out in the sales funnel that if there are non-fitting or if there are fitting items in the first few spots, then the likelihood that people add this to their cart and actually buy a product is much higher. So the conversion rate gets better. And the nice thing in this situation is you can do A/B testing. and you can actually measure this effect. And that's what we see in here. So you see the revenue on the y-axis, and the control is basically without the size recommender, which puts items at the front. And the target is using the size recommender, that you only see um, the products which fit you. And then on the x-axis, you have how many orders you have. So you see there is a difference, statistically significant difference, and it's around 4%, and it's more for people who buy less. So it's basically less beneficial for power shoppers and more beneficial for activation. Another example from software development is we also work a lot with legacy code, so very old code, and the migration of that code to newer systems and newer architectures. And what I like about this is in this example, which was a project we did for one of our clients, where we did migration, is that you see that the advantage is not only coming from writing code, but it's also from the analysis before and from the testing afterwards. And you see there's also an increase in review efforts at the end. So that shows you it's not just writing the code, and that also maybe show you, if you're not from a field in software development, that there are many things which can apply to your situation as well.
Okay. So you're using traditional data gathering and then combining that with AI to come up with a pretty comprehensive solution.
Yeah.
Amazing. Do you have any specific use cases of clients that have seen success with some of these new strategies that you've come up with? Like a specific client that has seen some success, adopting some of these strategies that you've come up with?
Yeah. So if we stay with migration, code migration, we work with a startup, uh, old startup. They were already 10 years old, but still small. And they had a 10-year-old application and a small team, like for relatively young developers, and only half year time to transform that. And so without AI support, I don't think this would have been possible. But in this case, one of the four developers was one of our consultants. So he brought in best practices and supported the team using these tools. And what they achieved was basically class by class backend migration and a POC of the new for a new front end.
Yeah, amazing. It's a very human approach to something that is very data driven and very analytical, and that AI component. So I love that you're able to work one on one with people and you've got your hands on the ground when it comes to the AI space. I would love to know, zooming out a little bit, as someone that is an expert in the field generally, and it's a pretty big question. Where do you see the AI space evolving in the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh, I mean, if you ask me how it's evolving in the next 1 year, I still I would say probably everything I'm saying now is totally wrong. But about 5 to 10 years, that's pretty far away. So I think on the shorter term, what I see, as I said before, is more full automation. Um, Probably starting in very niche areas, like the example for the compliance check, and from there you can extend it for more niche areas until you cover broader area. Um, and another thing which I think is already starting is scaling to multi-agent systems. So that's, for example, also in the software development environment. At this point, I know that there are many startups who do that already, and I think it's connected with that they are able to take more risk than established companies, for example. And yeah, but I think as the agents become better and people understand better how to work with the agents, it's going to be there going to be more trust to also more automate that, to have agents working with other agents, and basically to scale that. And I think this is very exciting because it drives down the cost for software development projects. So not only to create uh, um, AI applications, but also standard applications. And that makes projects which might not be feasible because of the cost right now, make them feasible. So I don't think uh, that this means that there is less work for humans. Because I mean, there is this in economics, the Jevons paradox, which means increases in the efficiency of using a resource tend to increase. So increase, not decrease, the total consumption of the resource. And I think this applies here too, because the cost drives down, so you can do more and you can automate more. That's very exciting.
Well, it kind of leads to my next question, and it's a question that I ask every guest on the podcasts. And you did touch on it earlier with your advice to small to medium enterprise businesses, but I would love to know in its purest form, what is your biggest tip for a return on investment using AI?
I think about the problem and be uh, uh, start small, extend iteratively, and be prepared to pivot or stop the project. If you have no experience with AI, then pick a trusted partner who can help you with it.
Yeah, I like that. Agility, be adaptable. No, perfect. Michael, you're an expert. I love how analytical you are, your scientific background, combining that with technology. I think the future's looking bright, not only for AI, but for you yourself. So I really appreciate you joining me on ROI to AI today.
Thanks a lot, Brad. It was a lot of fun.